Power is coming back to the story much sooner than you think, like maybe even next chapter. Things are getting pretty crazy in Chainsaw Man right now. A new primal fear has arrived, calling itself the Falling Devil and dressing up like a chef, all while causing tons of people, including Asa, to pretty much have like fever dreams about their past traumas, all while being slowly lifted towards the sky. And at this point, it seems that they're all being transported to hell to be appetizers for all the devils that live there. Considering the reincarnation based life cycle of a devil, these are most likely all devils that have been killed on Earth at some point, devils that we've probably even seen Denji kill before, but more importantly, devils that we've seen Denji become friends with. In my chapter 123 review, I briefly talked about the possibility that Denji is in for some heavy flashbacks in the coming chapters, considering one of the abilities of the Falling Devil seems to be the power to force anyone to relive their past traumas. And I'm sure most of you know by now, our boy Denji has no shortage of traumas. I think this was a clever way for Fujimoto to have Denji reflect on his past and how his past affects the person that he is today. Because we also can't forget that Denji's personality has definitely been a lot more low-key than it was in part 1. He seems a lot more tired and depressed, just generally sad, and this would be a great way for him to kind of reflect on that and see how different he is from part 1. At first I thought that's where the reminiscing would end, just with flashbacks and things like that, but that all changed when I saw the last panel of the chapter where a random guy was being taken through what appears to be the hell doors that allow access to and from hell. Seeing as how Denji is making his way to the scene, this opens the door, pun totally intended, for him to make a second trip to hell, and this is where the topic of this video comes into play actually. I think this would be a perfect way to set up the return of power in part 2. Now I'm sure at this point you're questioning how that's even possible, so you definitely want to stick around, and I'm sure by the end it'll make a lot more sense to you. In part 1 of Chainsaw Man, we learned from Angel that devils don't truly ever die if a fear of them still exists. When a devil is killed on Earth, they're then reborn in hell, and being killed in hell lets them resurrect on Earth again, but with no past memories of their former life. It's an endless cycle of reincarnation pretty much. We then get a few more details about this idea from Power when she's reborn again as the Blood Devil and saves Denji, when she says that when she dies, she likely won't be herself anymore, but she still wants Denji to come find her and turn her back into power. This meant that after devils die on Earth, they also take on a new form when they enter hell again, and this was actually verified in part 2 when we saw new versions of the Bat Devil and the Eternity Devil. What's never been specified though is at what point a devil loses their memories of their former life on Earth. You would think that when they die the first time, they go back to hell and just completely lose all memories of their life on Earth, but I have reason to think otherwise, which makes it very possible in my opinion that Power or this new Blood Devil will remember Denji in some capacity. In the same conversation that Angel has with Aki about the life cycle of devils, he also mentions that the last thing the devils in public safety remember before dying in hell was the sound of Chainsaw Man's chainsaws revving up. This opens up the possibility of devils carrying faint memories from the moments before their death. If Denji ends up traveling through one of these hell doors and makes it to hell a second time, there's a chance he could confront former friends like the Shark Devil, Angel Devil, and most importantly, the Blood Devil. Once this happens, I see the Blood Devil taking on a new form we haven't seen before, and possibly a whole new personality, and might end up actually fighting Denji. Assuming Denji fell victim to the Falling Devil's mind tricks before traveling to hell, he would also have Power fresh in his mind, seeing as how her death was almost certainly a traumatic moment for him, and it'll also serve as a reminder to the readers of the contract Power made with Denji to eventually come and find her again. Because a lot of people forget that he still has that contract, and I mean, contracts are binding. There's no getting out of them. My hope is that if this battle between Denji and the Blood Devil actually goes down, there'll be a moment where the Blood Devil has a quick memory of Denji and its past life once it hears Denji's chainsaws revving up again. The second possibility is that when a devil dies and goes to hell, their memories aren't fully erased until their second death and reincarnation on Earth. Kind of the idea that a devil first loses their body dying once, but then loses their mind or memories the second time they die, instead of both happening at once. If that's the case, the Blood Devil that Denji meets might appear different, but could retain Power's personality and most of her memories. I think this would actually be the best case scenario for those of us that miss Power and all of her craziness. Now we also have to remember the specific wording of power when she makes this contract with Denji. He says to find her, befriend her, and make her into power again, meaning somehow make this devil turn back into a fiend or somehow regain the memories of power and become friends again that way. Now this might mean that there's a slight possibility that Denji's battle with the Blood Devil might get taken back to Earth or somehow result in the Blood Devil being taken to near death because of this fight and actually possessing the body of a human, because from what it looks like, from what the Falling Devil is doing, raising all of these people into the sky, some might be dropping and some might be going straight to hell to be these appetizers for these monsters, or these other devils. I mean, there's definitely no shortage of bodies for dying devils to kind of try to inhabit if they want to avoid death. Who knows, maybe after this Blood Devil inhabits a new body, they might not fully have powers memories, but they might become a part of Denji's friend group or something, and hopefully Nayuta allows Denji to have a friend this time. Regardless of whether power actually gets her moment to shine again, one thing that's certain is that Denji is in for a world of hurt in the coming chapters, both physically and mentally. If you guys were like me and were super excited to see these hell doors at the end of this chapter, possibly opening up a second hell trip, then you definitely want to click on the video you see on your screen right now, where I break down what I think will possibly happen in this cataclysmic apocalypse that was just recently predicted by the prophecy of Nostradamus, and how it might include millions of hell doors covering the sky. But that's it for today's video, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.